gaming setup and room tour. Let's do it. Hello everyone, Olympus here, and if my voice sounds a little bit scratchy today, it's because I have a sore throat, so please bear with me. That's not going to stop me though from showing you all my gaming setup and room tour. This is my safe space. This is where I come to retreat from the world, and today I'll be welcoming you and inviting you into my personal space. So please don't judge me too harshly. I have invested in personalizing my room and making it my own, and so far I'm impressed with how it's turned out. It's a work in progress, so hopefully over time I'm going to be able to continue to make it better and to make it feel more comforting and welcoming and homely when I just need to take a break from the world, or maybe when I need to come and decompress after a long day. As always, I'll leave timestamps in the description together with a bunch of other links, so feel free to check those out. And on that note, let's go! We're gonna start at the door and then move left to right. I don't have any curtains on this door. Instead, I have this piece of paper which I took from an old calendar, but it gets the job done. That right there tells you everything you need to know about the theme of my room, which is function over form. A lot of the things you're going to see in this room are here because they perform a very specific function, not necessarily because they are pretty, like this Ethernet cable, for example. This cable and its entire installation is like the most DIY thing you have ever seen. If you can see here, there is a hook which I made from a piece of metal which holds this Ethernet cable in place so that it doesn't prevent this door from closing. And because there's such a thin gap in between the door and the frame here, the door rubs against the cable, so that's why I have wrapped it in this electrical tape here to prevent it from any kind of friction over time. I would have liked to install this cable differently, and then there could have been options for me to install it, for example, through the ceiling there and follow this cable management into this socket, ignore the gaping hole in the wall there. But despite this cable being over 20 meters long, it runs all the way from the sitting room, way where I have the router, into my room here. It wouldn't have been long enough to run it all the way through the ceiling and then down through the wall. It wouldn't have gotten to my PC. So that's why this Ethernet cable is the way it is. It's just kind of hanging there. But again, it gets the job done, function over form. Moving on down to my LED light strip here, you can see it's connected to the mains through this extension cable here, and I want to say this is one of the best purchases I have made in the recent past, and it has really helped me bring this room to life. And you might be wondering why this light strip runs excuse me, under the desk and not above it, and that's because I feel like above the desk it would have been a bit too bright for me. The lights would have been a little bit too much in my face and they would have been distracting. And also because of this is its power adapter, and as you can see here, it's not that long. The cable itself isn't that long, and I had to actually tape the controller here, or should I call it the receiver here, onto the wall to get this whole installation at the right height that I wanted these lights to be at. Once again, function over form. It's not the prettiest thing in the world, but hey, it gets the job done. And here I have the remote where I can change colors and do cool stuff like that. So it's pretty sick. I'm gonna change it back to the color we want and move on over to the desk. This desk is by far the centerpiece of the room. This is where I game, this is where I edit my videos, this is where I attend my online classes. If you've ever seen me or heard me casting, this is where I cast from. And basically this is where I spend majority of my time. These two monitors are the ones that I use. On the left here we have the secondary monitor, and here we have the primary one. So this is where I'll put the main stuff that I'm watching, like a movie or a video or a game. I'll play it from here. And then here it's always good to have some extra free real estate where you can put like your Discord or File Explorer. I can't speak today, or what have you. Now you might have noticed that these monitors are sitting on some pretty janky monitor stands. This one is sitting on just a random box I got somewhere in the house, and here we have the box that our router came in, some old book. This is an optical drive, and now let me tell you the story of this optical drive. I had to remove this optical drive from my system there because one, I wasn't using it. I mean, who uses an optical drive? It's the year 2021. And two, I needed space for the other hard drive that's in there. So I removed it, and instead of throwing it in the attic, I decided to use it here as a monitor stand to get these monitors to roughly the same height. I think they are the same height, save for a few millimeters. Now personally I prefer a clean and minimal desk because this is my work environment. I don't like it being cluttered and full of useless junk. There isn't much here except this book. You can see how far into the book I am. Almost done. So far so good. By the way, if you would like this book, I'll leave a link in the description to my plug. It's a very kind and very helpful lady who I bought this book from, so if you're interested, make sure to check her out. At the bottom of my desk there is a water bottle because you have to stay hydrated. I shouldn't have to tell anyone the importance of drinking water. And while we're down here, we can look at this atrocious cable management or lack thereof. I could have definitely put in more effort to bundle these cables together, but because I have to take them apart and disassemble the whole setup basically every time that I have to clean, because dust really gets back there and I have to take all these cables out, remove the desk and the chair and everything to make sure I've cleaned out all the dust. It just doesn't make sense to put that much effort into bundling the cables together because that's gonna be extra work that I'm gonna have to do, and it's already a lot of work. Last but not least, we can't talk about the desk without talking about the chair. We all know posture is very important, especially for us gamers who spend a long time sitting. It's crucial that you get furniture that enables you to sit in good posture. The story behind this chair is not as interesting as maybe the other stuff in this room, but my mom basically got it at an office sale. If you can, I would really advise you to invest in good furniture, especially something that has good back support and good adjustment options, because in the long run, your back is going to thank you. Above my desk are my movie posters, and this is one of the favorite parts of my room after the lights. I think they look really good. Tell me which is your favorite among these movies, and if you have a favorite movie that's not on my wall, let me know in the comments down below. This idea, by the way, I got from a friend of mine called Naomi, and on her wall she has album art from her favorite musicians, so I adapted it and put movies instead. So big shout out to Naomi, and check her YouTube channel in the description below. We continue the mini tour of my desk here. That's my webcam there with its god awful quality. That's what I use in my streams and when I'm casting. And the peripherals, let's talk about the peripherals. So this mouse here, it's a mouse I got a long time ago that has been serving me well, but it's got to a point where I think this button is almost giving out, so it might be time to upgrade. This keyboard is just a generic HP keyboard. This mouse, if you have noticed, is hooked onto the monitor here because I made myself a DIY mouse bungee from literally a paper clip and nothing else. I had to get it because this mouse cable kept on getting caught like here between the wall and the desk or on the corner of the table. So I hooked up, I jerry-rigged up a bungee so that it keeps my mouse off the surface of the desk and makes it easier when I have to make those extreme movements when I'm gaming. So this headset, like this mouse, I bought them at the same time actually, has been serving me for a very long time. It's been like 5 or 6 years, and just look at the damage on those ear cups, man. It's also about time that I upgraded them because one side, this side actually, the speaker died, and you can imagine how frustrating that is when you have to play games on only one headset or one earphone, I should say. It's really not playable, especially when there's the surround sound thing going on in games. So I'm looking for where I can upgrade, where I can buy a new set of headsets. If anyone knows a reputable store or shop, hit me up in the comment section below. This is another thing that's just as DIY as you ever saw it. My headset cable, it got spoiled, so I took it to someone and he fixed it. And the adapter that it plugs into is also, once again, function over form. If you can count how many times I said that, that would be great. That's where it goes in. This is the PC itself. If you saw my latest video, you might have noticed this piece of paper. And this is where the story of the optical drive comes in, because this is where the optical drive was, but I removed it so that it could go there. And what was left was a gaping hole in my system, which I wanted covered up somehow, but I didn't have any good options because, like you guys saw in that other video, the amount of dust that gets into this case is insane. So I decided to cover it with this piece of paper and hope for the best. It's definitely not pretty now that I look at it in depth and up close, but hey, it gets the job done. I like the fact that a lot of the stuff in my room has kind of like a backstory to it. So I got this PC from a friend of mine called Moji. He gifted it to me, and thanks to him I've been able to do all the things that I do on this channel. And a big shout out to Moji for hooking me up with this PC. It's the workhorse. It does pretty much everything that I needed to do. It's what enables me to game, to edit, to stream, to upload, and to do all this YouTube stuff, and I am so thankful for it. You might be wondering why this PC is sitting on a stool instead of on the desk, but like I said, I prefer clean and minimal work surface, and there just isn't enough space to have this PC on there. Away from the PC, we have my toilet there, and oh, just look at those lights, so pretty. And we have this blank wall here. I used to have some stuff on the wall, as you can see, some marks from when I ripped out the masking tape that was holding it all there. But right now I actually don't know what I should put there. Maybe a mandala or a wall hanging or something of the kind. Suggest in the comment section what I should put down there. Last but not least is my bed. It's looking a little bit shabby right now, but that's because Ini, my cat, my kitten, he was sleeping on there. But after a long day of gaming, yeah, that's where I sit back, relax, maybe watch something on Netflix and sleep. Wake up the next day to start it all over again. That is it, guys. That's my room. It's definitely a small room. There's barely any space between the desk, the chair, and the bed here, but it's mine and it works for me, and I'm happy the way it is. And like I said, I'm going to keep improving it in the future. That's all there is for today. Thanks so much for watching. If you enjoyed this video, leave a like and make sure you subscribe, because there's going to be lots more content like this coming in the future. That's all there is for today. See you in the next one.